First, let me admit that the candor with which Ms. Sampson spoke this morning was really disarming, and I hope that spirit is all pervasive and changes the contours of film certification in this country, which has historically been something which many of us, as Shyam mentioned, find it repugnant to a free democracy and democratic society. I will not dwell upon points which have been sort of mentioned by other speakers, but let me make a few points which I think are important and relevant and have not been spoken about. The first problem is, of course, the fact that this is a negative function of society. It's not a positive function. Whether we call it film censorship or we call it film certification, it's a kind of a prejudgment of a form of expression. So, to that extent, it's at variance with the way other media is tackled, where there is no pre-censorship. There is, except in dictatorships or totalitarian regimes, but there can be a post or ipso facto censorship, somewhat like what happens in the advertising industry, where you have the Advertising Standards Council of India, which takes corrective action if and when a certain perceived line is transgressed. The problem with film certification or film censorship, or call it what you may, is that most people, and there are exceptions, confuse their responsibility, their job of certifying film or classifying films for public exhibition as one of passing aesthetic judgment on the film they are seeing. Like any artist has the right or the privilege of making good art, he is also entitled to make bad art. Similarly, every filmmaker is entitled to make a good film or a bad film. Now, that is not the job of the Film Certification Board. I was disturbed by what Ms. Siddharth said this morning. This forum is not about content. I can actually make rubbish as long as it confines within what are the published guidelines. What ideally I should be doing is what your point was, which I may agree on another forum. So this is very important. Please do not pass value judgment on the films you see as a part of certification. It is like, it's a very clinical process which you're going through. Like when a surgeon operates, he does not look into the physical attributes of the patient. Is the woman beautiful, or is the man brawny? He's doing his job as a surgeon. So similarly, you have to be almost detached to have that objectivity if you want to function properly. I find that another thing which is actually been tempered over the years. I remember my earlier encounters in this, early 70s with what was then called the Censor Board, where I remember, filmmakers of such eminence as Chetan Anand and Vijay Anand and Raj Khosla, with whom I was associated, going to the Film Certificate Censor Board, and the censor regional officer, who was an average documentary filmmaker from FT who had been transferred there as DRO, would sit there and say, "मैं आपकी film ठीक कर रहा हूँ." इसका एडिटिंग कैसे करेगा, इससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. I'm not there to learn filmmaking from the thing. So I find this quite abhorring when somebody says, एक shot निकाल दिया उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? We are helping you get the film certified. That's a very, very negative approach. I will point out one thing which I've read in the media. I do not know whether it's true, okay, because it's of recent origin. A film purportedly had a word Darzi. The Central Board of Film Censors Mumbai asked them to remove the word Darzi because it can hurt the sensibility of somebody. I mean, this is absurd. Like somebody says, please remove the word Mochi. I mean, these are realities. If they but and the problem is that when you have a tradition which is still entrenched in our body politic, in our social fabric of thousands of years of casteism, of discord, how do you expect not to mention that when you talk about it? The other thing is when there is a disclaimer, and that's a standard practice world over. There are laws of libel which exist in India. They may not be as stringent as those in other countries, but so are our other laws. They're quite different. If I mention somebody's name, I am told you can't mention the name. If I have given a disclaimer, I mean, somebody said, oh, in one of the films, I think your film, Anurag, was there a shot of Zakir's album? Zakir Hussain, and he was asked to blip it out. I mean, the problem should be with Zakir Hussain. I remember I made a film in the 80s in which Mahesh worked. There was a sequence which refers to, in a very light-hearted way, Prahad was witness to that shooting at Prithvi, about in those days what was called a romance between Pratima Bedi and Pandit Jasraj, who incidentally were both my friends. And our Pratima is, the late Pratima, and Pandit Jasraj is a friend. And it created a big hullabaloo. I said, I will get you a letter from both of them that they have no objection to my using their names in my script. So they said, again, the regional officer said, "Ab Jasraj ka Yashraj kar dijiye, kya farak padta hai?" So, these are absurdities. This does not require new laws. This requires a certain amount of sensitivity. Please get out of this negative approach that I am trying to, by removing one word or by removing one sentence, I am going to not disturb your film. It's, there is everything. And I remember, I've been a part of several debates of this nature since 1974. And I think I am perhaps the only one in the industry who's actually consistently been involved in the dialogue, in the evolution of this process with the government and civil society and the film fraternity. So I'm speaking from a little bit of experience that it is understandable that everyone has a point of view, but please, going back to, you need to sensitize the people who are passing the first judgment. It's utopian for me to think that political patronage will be completely removed and all biases will be removed in the appointment of the new panels. And this is obviously not going to be possible. But within that ambit, if we can really tell people, and including your officials, that your job is not there to say that, okay, how much minimum damage can I let this film go? Your job is to say, within the existing guidelines, unless there is an absolutely strong and clear contravention, that there is the film should be classified in the existing categories. I welcome the move. In fact, I was involved, as I said, with Mahesh in a larger group which tried to address this issue. And one of the positive outcomes of that entire discussion has been that we are moving towards the independence or self-regulation of television broadcasting. Now here again, let me just give you one final example and I'll let my other colleagues speak. You know, if television is going to be self-regulated, I find it quite absurd that a film promo which is run on a television channel, or an advertisement which is run on a television channel, why should it go first to the film certification board and then it goes and gets governed by the broadcasting code? Because the broadcasting code is responsible enough to look to take care of what goes on air. So why should there be a duplicity of this? And there have been other instances, which my friend from Hyderabad mentioned, that you cannot still get a certificate for digital. They'll write a V certificate. But why should it be a video certificate? I can make my film on a floppy disk today or on a phone. I'm part of the Mumbai Film Festival. We run a competition for several years now where people are making 2-minute, 3-minute, 5-minute films on mobile phones. Now, when change is happening, I was part of the Prime Minister's empowered committee on ICE, on information, communication and entertainment, which actually went into the whole gamut of this industry and planned a roadmap for it for the next 10 years, and some of it is getting implemented in the 12th plan. But you require a holistic approach. You have to divest yourself of the vestiges of the past, because things have changed. Society is evolved. It continues to evolve. In that, and every expression in an art which is, the cinema is called the youngest of the art form because it's a plastic art form of less than 100 years. But it's an all-embracing art form. It embraces the best of music, dance, literature, and other classical arts, for it to be actually really a worthwhile experience, even in its most mundane form. In the age of technological convergence, with a form which is a complex derivative of the classical art forms, it requires a certain perspective to be able to make a judgment which is in line, in context of with what the filmmaker is trying to say. In isolation, it can be absurd. Films which, say, Anurag makes, I may not agree with his point of view, and I've often told him this, that, it's always, when you are young, you would tend to be more radical and you tend to take a more subversive view of society, but then you mellow down with age and you also with experience. But that does not mean he does not have the right to do it, because that's the way I did it when I was his age. So let us all understand this perspective, the context, the specificity of a particular subject, of a film, of a scene, of a dialogue, of a shot is absolutely endemic to the overall impact of what that work of art, as I said, good or bad, will make on the rest of the world.